Since where most of us are hunkered down, I figured I would take some time to share some very well-made HIV/AIDS documentaries I really enjoyed. Starting with Freddie Mercury, The Great Pretender, that changed the Queen frontman's life. It should not be forgotten that Freddie Mercury was a musical genius, and that this documentary retraces his private life only. It's a true look into his tragic story of him battling AIDS. I got goosebumps just talking about it. Here is a short clip of this.
Freddie Mercury was one of the rock world's most iconic figures. As the frontman of Queen, his performances electrified audiences worldwide.
There was nobody like him beforehand, and there's been nobody like him since.
But he fiercely guarded his secrecy.
He was quite private in many ways. It is true. He was two very different people.
And the secret Freddie was outrageous.
He wasn't the easiest person in the world. Excuse me, you know, this is not a saint.
And said, darling, my attitude is, fuck it. I'm doing everything with everybody.
But Freddie's risk-taking lifestyle left him exposed.
He was living a very precarious life because AIDS was out there. I mean, he just went wild.
This is the inside story of the Freddie Mercury you never knew.
Everything about him was a secret and a complication.
The behind-the-scenes story of the 2 years in which he achieved his greatest musical triumph, but also faced his deepest fears.
Max?
We'll have this sent round to Harley Street straight away, Freddie.
It's his battle to keep his privacy.
Not to tell a soul. I mean it. Not a soul.
To keep on working.
You're all right, Freddie.
Yes, I'm fine, darling. I'm okay.
And the fight of his life.
My old faithful.
The real story of Freddie Mercury, the Great Pretender.
I watched this several times, and I did, however, watch the Queen movie, and I found it very much to be candy-coated. Some of the storylines were not true. This is the brutal truth, and it can be kind of dark. You can watch the entire documentary on YouTube. Next up is Strike a Pose. This film was made by the dancers of Madonna's wildly successful Blonde Ambition tour and her Truth or Dare documentary. Madonna took no part in making this film. They've revealed the truth about their lives during and after the tour. It can be a tearjerker, but it's about overcoming shame and finding courage to be who they are. After watching this, I look at them a little differently. Here is a short trailer clip of this.
It was a wild, high-velocity family.
Each one of us would have taken a bullet for each one of us.
The sort of daring progressive message was that you can be gay and human.
I want to be like those guys. Be that sort of free and open.
I saw two men kiss for the first time.
Like, you know.
Do we care what people think of us? No!
Bring it back down. What's your secret?
Faking that you're strong, faking that you are confident. Faking almost all of it.
With AIDS coming out and HIV, everyone got really scared. It was terrifying. It was terrifying enough to scare people into silence.
There was a whole other backstage, you know, that you didn't get to see, that none of us were ready to talk about. And it's hard because this is the first time, so.
And real slow, slow, slow. Be proud, you know, be proud, whatever it is. Because everyone is someone.
This movie touched my heart in so many ways and easily can be rewatched again. It can be found on Netflix, and I actually ordered it on Amazon, the DVD. Finally, I want to talk about the documentary I was trying to get a hold of for months. It was not streaming anywhere in Canada until finally it showed up on Canada's Prime Video. It's called 5B. At the heart of the HIV/AIDS crisis and widespread hysteria, a single number and a letter designated a ward on the 5th floor of the San Francisco General Hospital. The first designated specifically to deal with AIDS patients. Here's a portion of the trailer on this.
Nearly 3,000 cases of AIDS have already hit this city. Half those people have died.
The AIDS epidemic was raging.
They wanted to isolate us and quarantine us on an island.
Could this be disease spread through the air?
We were expected to wear what we called spacesuits, and some would refuse to give care.
It made me angry. We have to do something.
At San Francisco General Hospital, the staff is gearing up for the opening of a special wing to treat AIDS victims.
It was built by the nurses there.
We were gay, we were straight, we were young, we were old.
And of course, that was a time when nobody even knew how it was spread.
The danger was very real.
AIDS is 100% fatal. We ought to be focusing on what we do to prevent all of us from getting the disease and dying.
You have to get out of the mode that you're here for curing people and really get into the mode that you're here to care for people.
People were like, well, you're probably going to get AIDS and you're probably going to die. I might have some anxiety about this, but I'm more pissed off and angry than I am scared.
They made the rules as they went along.
We decided that if we can't save these folks, we're going to touch them.
This was a tangible thing you could do. Wash them, put moisturizer on them. You were allowed to love your patients.
So much in life is not what you say or what you do, it's how you make people feel.
It's brought change for how hospitals work.
People came to our unit from worldwide to find out what we were doing, how or why. We weren't afraid.
You don't have to have a hazmat suit every time you're around an AIDS person. You don't have to burn their bed because they died.
The nurses were the real heroes.
They stood up when nobody else would, and they were willing to take those risks.
I find this a very touching film. I could watch many times like the last two. Plenty of us now have a lot of free time, and if you happen to watch any of these movies, let me know which one would be your favorite. Please like and subscribe. Michael K here. Take care, everyone.